An experience that had a big impact in me was that once arriving in Trinidad, even though all my other needs were taken care of, I was having to leave the airplane parked out in the ramp because I didn't have a hangar, I didn't have anywhere to put it. And so God had brought down the airplane, He'd provided for my needs, and now where am I going to put the airplane? He'd even provided for gas money. It's like, and this airplane sitting out in the sun. I was, okay, Lord, I believe you have somewhere better for this airplane than sitting out on the ramp. It's a dangerous place. There could be thieves that come and they can damage the airplane or steal the electronics at night. Or there's danger of hangar rash, or other airplanes could run into my airplane sitting there in the sun. And it's just not a good place for an airplane to be. So I started looking for a hangar. And I found one hangar. I could rent it for $150 a month, which is quite expensive for down here. It's like, Lord, is that where you want the airplane? And I just didn't feel comfortable with it. And he's like, just keep looking. So I started looking, and I was walking down, and I looked, and I saw this beautiful hangar, just beautiful. It's painted, and I go, and I saw this big for sale sign. I was like, whoa, it's for sale, cool, So I go and I ask the people, and they show me around. I go inside, and it's just a perfect place for a hangar. It has a little workshop, so I could do maintenance, and a little place to stay if I had to stay the night, for early flights and everything. I was like, wow, this is just absolutely beautiful. And I was like, oh, okay, this is God, I feel this convicted, this is the right place for the airplane. So I go and I ask the owners, I'm like, okay, so how much is this going to cost? Like, oh, well, we're just $70,000. $70,000? Like, God, I thought you said you wanted me to get this hangar, It's like $70,000 and I don't have any money. How am I going to get this hangar? So he's like, just wait, It's like, okay, I'll just wait. So a few days passed, and I was out on the ramp doing some maintenance on the airplane, and lo and behold, I meet another guy. He comes walking by, and, it's someone I hadn't seen before, and so we started talking, and it's like, I found out that he works with a neighboring program. It's called Mano a Mano, and he does other types of flying down here. He does a lot of food flights, mostly food and medical flights. And so it turns out that we're doing very similar work. And I was like, hey, this is really cool. Maybe we could, help each other out, because a lot of times he has flights that he needs help with. And it turns out he has a lot more experience in the area than I do. And so it's like, wow, okay, we can learn a lot from each other. It's like, and then he mentioned that he was wanting to start working in the area. And he's like, but I don't have anywhere to put the airplane. He's like, I'm looking to buy a hangar. Do you know where I could buy one? I'm like, well, yeah, there's a really nice one right over there. And so he went over and looked at it, and I found out a few days later he actually bought the hangar. And I found him in the airport again. I was like, okay, so what's going on? I heard you bought the hangar. He's like, yeah, it's really nice. But he said, Daniel, I have a problem. I'm like, well, what's your problem? He's like, well, I am working over in another city called Cochabamba, and that's where I do most of my work. He said, but I bought this hangar here, but I'm only going to be here about once or twice a week. It's like, I need somebody to go and stay in that hangar and take care of it while I'm gone. Would you be willing to move and base your airplane out of my hangar? That way it's not abandoned, and take care of it? I was like, well, yeah, that I'd be more than happy to help you with that. So God has provided. Right now we have the best hangar in all of Trinidad, and with all the expenses paid for.